Trash eyes.
Hello there. I don't know why this isn't full screen. Is it the music making those? Okay, that is the music making those weird sounds. I mean, I get it's supposed to be creepy, but it also kind of. Oh, I'll turn that down too. It's a little grating, huh? All right, sweet. I feel I saw like a YouTube short about this game, and I bought it a while ago, but I haven't played it yet until now. Actually, I'm just gonna keep the Bob as UOST on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it turned down though. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. Why did he know that? That was loud. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. Oh, I thought there was going to be more to that. Like, darting between, like, the house's corners and what? But I guess not. I like that the shed says shed on it. He read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps he takes, or it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing towards him. There's a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now, smooth is fast. Wait a minute, hold on a second. My chat's not showing up there. Nope, well, it's not going to. Fun. Then let me do that. Much better. Roger's key slides in on the first try, but apparently clicking doesn't work on the first try. It won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H, definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked, jammed, broken maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and door handle every which way. without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up the assistant. The police are en route. The door unlocks from the inside. Homeowner, can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. How about you go fuck yourself? Check the deed, lady. The deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. If I, can I get violent with this person? Can I, like, stab him in the neck? Personal property is a social construct. Oh, a liberal. Absolutely stabbing her in the neck. I'm kidding, by the way. Those who inhabit a space own it. No, that's not accurate. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Oh, is that Roger? Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner is knocked back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken. Ow! I'm standing my ground. Let me kill her. I'll get it when you're gone. Wheel, 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 wheel. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Why do you make yourself sound like a fucking alien? Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears. Wait, she stole his car? What a bitch! You should have killed her when you had the chance. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. The homeowner? Am I the alien? He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oiled drape runners, candles. It seemed like she lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. Oh, like would leave there. I thought it was like, there was more to that sentence. A lot of these sentences end on odd notes, huh? It took Roger an additional half day to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. Fair enough. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. The police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. Oh. You no longer fear an ambush, but you dread. Oh, I got an achievement. Pass by the window. End credits. Cody Tierson, creative director. Wait. Audio engineer, lead design. Wait, what? That was fast. Just kick her out, like, fuck you. Alright, what happens if I let her have the house? The one I pulled in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. What in the hell? I returns just in time to see car he calls his own reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappears down the road. Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner... What? Homeowner grabs a hold of his shirt. She slips it off when... What? She slips it off with one deft sweep. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. Am I about to get molested? He feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. Give me my shirt back. No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanked backwards, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. He can hear the sounds of rustling fabric and crinkling plastic bags. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. Please, not my chicken. The homeowner gathers Roger's things, glides into the house, and slams the door shut. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep them warm. He shakes from the cold. Oh, there's a lot of options here, huh? Wait her out, seek shelter, find help. Break down the door! Fuck this bitch! Not strong enough to break it down with his bare feet. Decides to take a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm and fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. Steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Oh wait, I didn't see. She can make it before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner. I made a choice and I didn't even know I made a choice. He pressed himself against the corner wall at the bottom of the staircase, hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footsteps make it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs a hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Let me shoot her! Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares as Roger tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down in her face. Yeah! He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again and again and again. Whoa! And again. Relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer... Oh, fuck. I clicked right as it ended. Fuck me! The police arrived shortly after. A neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass. Roger's defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. What? Which said he broke in. Or she broke in. A woman police were never able to identify. She wasn't human. Due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution convinced the jurors that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. What proof did the prosecution put forward that would convince a jury of that beyond a reasonable doubt? I would love to know. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row awaiting lethal injection. End credits. So I guess the right choice is just fucking take my house back and tell her to fuck off. And she stole my car, which is annoying, but so I chose to break down the door. Arm myself. Darts to the knife block in the kitchen a mere 15 feet away. Yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around heading for the stairs. A yellow flash flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. Yeah, I kind of figured that would happen. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled a John Doe. Was cremated by the town according to protocol? The local paper released a story about the incident. Labeling Roger, an identified drifter, and the homeowner as a neighborhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug use. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended themselves when the police were nowhere in sight. She was paid who paid her for what? She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker. Oh, maybe I should just keep reading, huh? For a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. That seems like a weird ending. All right. What other options did I have here? I feel like wait around, I'll just freeze out here on my own. Roger was not one to bully others or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch like any respectable citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his what happened to the neighbors who heard the breaking glass? They wouldn't notice their neighbors screaming, and like what it said people knew him around town, and the neighbors would just be like, oh yeah, I've never seen this man before in my life, this lady that I've never seen before and that nobody has ever seen before and doesn't have any documentation or fingerprints is obviously been my neighbor for years. What? As it grew late and cold, as began to lose feeling in his extremities, his pounding became limp and inconsistent as his hollers turned into hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Hypothermia. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up and nested his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. The cause of his death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in the morgue to await cremation. Why does he keep getting tagged as a John Doe? Is it because even if she took his ID, he still, there's records of him owning this house. He's on the porch. There's no records of her owning this house. They got the deed registered with the town. Like what? And also there's dental records if they can't identify him. It's not like his fucking teeth were destroyed. Roger's final moments were warm and he was not afraid. All right, seek shelter. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it best to find somewhere to rest. Is this Roger? Is that a sensor for his massive schlong? He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. My chicken! Oh yeah, that's right, the bitch took my chicken. She deserved death. I don't fucking... It sucks that he had to go on death row, but she deserved death. Taking his fucking house. Unless fucking the game's trying to like set it up that way and one of these endings is gonna flip that on its head, but... He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around looking for food. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Let me save here. And return. Alright, eating mushrooms, usually a bad idea, so let's go with the right decision first. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you eat a mushroom, there's a chance you'll feel sick for like a couple weeks, and then you'll start to feel better for like you were never poisoned in the first place, and then you'll suddenly get way worse and die, which is fucked up. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be, but the fact remained he was hungry. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace, skulking through the tree line parallel to the roadway to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze. It makes him salivate and clench his fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. Go to the fire station. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing it could lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both. Come on in. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with a monogram of a defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes, knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some, thank you. Fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Nice. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So if you don't mind my asking, what's got you out on the street with your pecker hanging out? I went out for some groceries yesterday. While I was out, some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in and had to spend the night in the woods. Why was your pecker out? You like shopping naked? No, the woman and it had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch and her pal took off in my car. Fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, why not just go to the fucking police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station and she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kinda makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled out onto this place. The facade really stands out. Wait, what? You got any kind of documentation to prove that you own that house? Of course, I have a deed in a safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants with the wallet still in them. You think she's still in the house or took off in the car with her pal? She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get this sorted for you. Thank you. I get the feeling this isn't going to go the way I want it to. The fireman lumbers over to I mean, honestly, should have just fucking blown her brains out. Would have been, I mean, he squished her, but would have been more satisfying to pump some shots into her stomach, I think. The fireman lumbers over to a phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries he is a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. A part of him hopes that the woman is still in his house to prove to himself that what he remembers happening really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs room, raving that the house is hers. She's been there all her life. It's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant and search the premises, but she is unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground for the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Based. I think that's probably the best ending. Little sad that I didn't get to have the satisfaction of killing that bitch taking my house with my own fucking hands. But you know, an ending where I don't end up in jail is also just as nice. So we seek shelter. Did I do find help? No, I didn't. Remember the belief that he cannot resolve his house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police crew. So is it not like some kind of like freaky alien? It's just like a crazy lady. Spots a cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. Oh, but I'm naked. I'm gonna get arrested for public indecency. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting and attempting to— Don't run at an officer, dumbass. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Look at my cock. Don't move. Hands. Let me see those hands. They're up above my head. They're up. I'm cooperating. The suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating. What am I a suspect of? Turn around. I said turn around right now. Roger complies. Walk backwards toward me. Roger walks backwards towards the officer. Not so fast. Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? This officer is an asshole. Roger does not speak and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up. Roger very slowly walks backwards towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace. He's terrified of doing something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening, further cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and steers him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrist as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. I mean, as most officers would. I mean, this one was kind of being a little bit of a dick, but still. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Wait, what? Keep it down back there. Dude, this officer is on drugs. A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone's broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house routine. Save it for the judge. The old routine. Ah, yes. The common line. Someone stole my house. As you do. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries to not exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went shopping, returned to find your home's locks were changed. That's right. And I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange? How? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what is it that made her strange to you? Possibly that she was a stranger in my fucking house, jackass. how calm she was about it all, acting like I was a perfect stranger and she belonged there. The officers glanced at one another. So you found your lock change and a woman strangely calm and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. I'm getting locked up for sounding crazy. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned around and saw her driving away in my car at the same time. Why would you word it like this? A pair of twins, maybe? They were her. In the car and in the house all at once. Dude, come on. There's no way any reasonable person at the fucking suggestion of it being twins would be like, huh, yeah, maybe I didn't think about that. So what happened to your clothes? She took them right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off without you even asking. The officers snicker as they share a look. These officers are asshole, but also Roger's not helping himself at all. It's not funny. I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. Yeah, no, officer, I think you're missing the part where she's in his fucking house. I think you might be, I think this officer is on drugs. I think this officer is either on drugs or working with this woman. There's some kind of systemic alien shit going on here. I think I might have been right. Also, this, other that or this guy's crazy and I'm playing from the perspective of a crazy man. I'm an old man with dementia. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. All right, sir, how much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person and wandered into the street naked, but you haven't had anything to drink. That's not what I said. This isn't how it happened. Oh, well, you know, the officer could, I don't know, perform any number of sobriety tests, a breathalyzer, a urine sample, any kind of shit like that. But no, I guarantee he's going to be snarky here. You've already given your statement. All I need to know now is how much you were drinking. Yep. This officer's either working with that bitch, or he's just an asshole. Insist you are sober. I was not drinking. It's true what I said, every word of it. Sorry, I had a loogie. Put a note that the subject is not cooperating and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. So you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Yeah, they're gonna throw him in a loony bin. Even though fucking, I think every rational step has been avoided by these officers at every turn to the point where it seems malicious. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between mental state institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and a treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. Without a diagnosis, how could they keep him? What? What kind of backwards-ass kangaroo court country is this? He raved about a woman who stole his house and his car. Staff learned to tune out his ravings, as they did with all the other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Unspecific nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. Let's see some of the other options here. Do I die if I eat the mushrooms? Consumes a mushroom with desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spin. Is this the game? Are these psychedelic mushrooms? You know how unlikely it would be to find psychedelic mushrooms in a forest? His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. He sees the world around him as part of him, or he as a part of it. A very small part. A moat. A moat. The homeowner was right, in part. Personal property is a... He took mushrooms and became a liberal hippie. That's fucking great. Grandpa turned into a fucking beatnik. But habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree any more after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and... What is going on here? Am I supposed to be able to discern anything here? I mean, that looks vaguely like a face. Where is he right there? Began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool damp, to the network. Forsaking hunger, forsaking words. Words like Roger and returning home. Oh, is that his face? Did he just fucking trip and die? He fucking tripped balls and died. No, wait. No. Scheiße. Load this one. Yes. Confess to drunkenness. Roger with his head in his hands. Right, officer, I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's alright, old timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm kind of surprised that they went with the no diagnosis route instead of like diagnosing him with something like fucking vascular dementia or something. I'm very grateful. If I can spend the night in the drunk tank, we'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting on his... Why did the officers help when he found the firefighters, but not now? That I also don't understand. It was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in service. Oh, is he like a veteran? Which is where the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the lost and found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been in downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. What? He's an old dude that had been living there for a long time, but he can't find his way through downtown? What? He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passerbys refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept at a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds, entirely out of memory. Huh. Did I make every choice here? Yeah, let's really quickly through. I did seek shelter. So break down the door, I killed her and got arrested. Or got shot by a shotgun. Wait around, I froze to death. Seek shelter, I ended up with the mushrooms. And with the fire department, that ended up with best ending. Find help ended up with me either becoming homeless or going into a mental institution. Yes. Please tell me that doesn't close the game. God damn it. I'm still missing 2 achievements, apparently. All right. So we got the chicken. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his rotisserie chicken. Bitch. The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. A couple of crazy hippies. If you're willing to break into someone's house and try and take it like a fucking squatter, you deserve to be shot down like the dog you are. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into the calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bag on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter to see how much there is. Okay, they're gonna eat him. I'll close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings on, the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbors by a door and some drapes. I mean, surely I have home insurance. I could also prove my shit, right? Take my house back. Stand my ground. What am I missing? I feel like I didn't get an ending. Wait, how many achievements are there for this game? I am missing one achievement, so there is definitely an end I didn't get. Actually, I can settings. I can actually set this to skip after choices. It just won't skip unseen text. Okay. Take your house back. Stand your ground. Can I like use spacebar to skip? Checking. What am I missing? So let her have the house. It's obviously one of these options. Break down the door, arm yourself. Let her have the house. Break down the door. Hide in ambush. What endings am I what ending am I missing? What route did I not take? Break down the door. All right, wait her out. It just results in me freezing to death. Let her have this house. Seek shelter. Don't eat the mushrooms. Follow the scent of food. Roger's hunger takes a hold of him. It demands satisfaction, so he follows the scent in the air. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Aren't I naked? I feel like even if I was working at, like, say, a Walmart and I was playing video games as a welcomer, if somebody walked through and was naked, I would probably still notice out of the corner of my eye and be like, huh? What in the fuck? Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. How am I supposed to pay for this? Grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks, and some sneakers. Then he heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout, piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving the discarded pizza box and tags in his wake. Dick! I mean, you don't have any money because some crazy fucking probably alien just stole your house. Also, why does he look so much like Michael Myers right now? You can't tell me you fucking put a Michael Myers mask right next to that and fucking 1-to-1. Insert arm into automation orifice? What? He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance. He reads a display and looks down. He sees the ATM's orifice. Yes. He slides his arm inside. It's cold and pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. Roger feels the ray shape of numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes, pizza, and while checking out some additional supplies, Roger had never committed a criminal act. Wait, what? He was distressed to discover how easy it was. His own house in broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he hooked a hose up to the Are we gonna blow these bitches up? Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Either burn it down or blow them the fuck up. I hope it blows them up. I hope we get to fucking dance on their scattered pieces. No one paid any attention as he hooked the hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw a lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard the result. Kaboom! The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount of his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. Another good ending. Hey, at least there's 2 good endings in this. Well, I mean, 3 if you also consider the satisfaction of killing someone who's tried to steal your house is you know, a win. Well, all right. That was a weird fucking game. Yeah. I think I'll just go with a short stream tonight. Thanks people for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've made it this far and you liked it, I mean, subscribe. What are you doing? Hit the button. Bye-bye.